Alright folks, good morning and welcome back to Mouteki.com. It's Friday, May 21st, just around quarter till 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What we're going to analyze today as our plan A in forex trading is the Euro-Japanese Yen. What you can currently see on my screen is the 1 hour compression. Let's go ahead here and cover this. As an interesting setup. It kind of gives you the opportunity to see how my mind works when I'm analyzing setups. So first off, looking here at the Euro-Yen, I can definitely see the strong point of 1 hour supply that's in this market. Now recently what I've seen this market do is violate that movement, or excuse me, violate that line of supply, showing me here potentially that demand is now in this market. What I have seen here upon further analysis is that potentially this movement has paid out, and potentially we are looking here for a nice downside potential trade on the Euro Yen. But first off, let's go ahead and look at what I'm talking about on the smaller compression. Great place to take this is down to our 5-minute compression, because what we're looking at here on the 5 is the movement that indeed breached the line of supply. Okay, you can see here the initial breach, and there is that breach that we saw create highs around the 114.40 price level. Now what's interesting in this movement is that if you go ahead and analyze it, taking this as your start point of the movement, here your initial movement, you can see definitely a retracement in here. And now what you will notice in the aqua color is the fib expansions of this movement. So we have 100% payout right there, we have a retracement, we have 127.2 payout right there, a retracement, and we have 161.8 payout at this point. And again, that is all by taking this analysis on your 5-minute compression and looking for further proof in this market and looking for clues that it has left behind. And if you take a look here, you can see that that initial movement is a substantial movement here in the market. Let's take a look at that. And you can see what that is creating there is a movement of around 240 pips. So that's a definite huge movement there in this market. So let's go ahead here and take a look further on what we're saying. Now we're doing this because we're trying to prove that potentially this market has created the movement that it needed to, has paid out its movement up above, and now we're going to hook back into this dominant line of supply here and see this market continue to drive south. And furthermore, if you look once again at that 5-minute level, you can see the reasoning behind this. Now let's go ahead here and analyze what we have up on the setup. So what we want to do is start with the point of the movement. Now when we place our fib expansions to this point, the market has further progressed in that market, so we're not interested in it. And then moving on, what we have done here is taken this movement right here, we can see, and in the colors that you can currently see, we have the yellow fib expansion levels. Now what you can see here is that we have a retracement of the initial movement, we have 127.2, we have retracement, and then we have 161.8. So potentially this market has now proved itself. But what we're saying here is that potentially this is a setup of a larger scale, taking this as our initial movement, looking here to the start point and the finish of that initial movement, this being our retracement, and now here in the green color, okay, you can see that this would be a 61.8 fib expansion. And that's what market analysis is all about, is trying to look and locate that movement that you can trade using your analysis of price action and payments of expansions. So what I'm sitting here right now is the opportunity saying to myself, what do I want to look for here in this New York session? What do I want to look for on the Euro-Japanese Yen? And plain and simple, what I want to look for is, if this movement here continues to prove itself and gives me downside price action, then I want to jump in for a trade. The reason why I want to do that is because this 61.8 also has a 161.8 further below. And you can see that currently highlighted at this point. Now notice how this level is a 100% retracement of this overall movement that has occurred so far. A 100% retracement is something that we oftentimes see in the market. Furthermore, what I have established is my retracements, as you can see at this point, looking for potential that we have a larger setup on the 1 hour, and that this is our initial movement, this was our retracement, this was our 61.8 payout, this was our retracement. You can see here in blue color the retracement levels, potentially looking for this market here to breach the 61.8 and if it doesn't breach this 61.8, now what I've done is created an opportunity to take this Euro Japanese yen north up to the 118.75 price levels here on a completion of the movement north 161.8. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that we have set up this market now. We have contained it within the limits, those limits that we were talking about. We can have one last look here on the 5-minute and tell you exactly what we're saying. Okay, the bottom side limit basically is this 61.8 retracement. If this market breaches this 61.8 retracement, then we will know that it's respecting this movement right here in the market, and that these fib expansions were just a coincidence that occurred in this market, so to say. And we would be looking for the 61.8 fib expansion to be breached and for a continuation down to our payment of the 161.8 fib expansion. Now, if this market here continues to show us topside movement, and what it does breaches the 61.8 and continues trading north, then we will look to our larger time frame and trade here the breach of the 61.8 to the 161.8, because what you know is that if this market breaches the 61.8, it is going to achieve that 161.8 as its final payout. So that's what we're looking for here on the Euro Japanese yen. That is my plan A for the day. I thought it was just a good way to get you inside of my minds and my analysis. Now let's just go ahead here and take a look at a plan B, even though it is Friday here and I'm not too interested in anything but the Euro yen at this time, okay? But just for the sake of the matter of having a plan B, AUD USD. On the AUD USD, 1 hour, what we can see here is a supply line, okay? We can see that very nicely, and we can see the supply line has been violated by the market. Now, what we need to do is take this down to smaller compression and take a look at exactly what we're seeing. So what we have seen here in the 5 minutes so far, we have a start point of a movement here. What we can see is that we have a pullback, a retracement, and I've placed the fib expansions in the green color that you can see at this point. And what you can see is that there's respect of the 61.8, there's a retracement there to the 23.6, and from there what we have is a 127.2 payout. Now what this has left up above is that 161.8, and you can see that right there, and this is the overall payment level that we look for a market to achieve when creating a movement that within here respects the retracements and the fib expansions. Okay, so this market at this point is proving harmony, so we want to see the follow through of the harmony here in the market. Now if this market breaks that harmony, we will lose interest in that, and that is exactly why I have my retracement level sitting here, and you can see that the 61.8 is being respected at this point. Note how it's also coming off that supply. When supply turns into demand, then we can see support at those levels. We've seen it here, we've seen it here, but I'm not necessarily enthusiastic about this setup for one reason, because what we saw here was a nice 50% retracement. We saw good price action in here, but we weren't able to make it up above this 127.2. So this at this point here, this would not be a bounce trade that I want to take on the retracement levels, because this market has not shown me the ability to open up topside potential. So the only thing that I would possibly look for in here would be a breach of the 127.2 up here to the 161.8. Now I know that may not seem like a lot, but there is about 30-35 pip potential in there, and for a plan B, that is a decent opportunity there, coming that it is once again Friday. So again, Euro yen is all of the interest. We are looking for either downside breach of the 61.8. If the downside breach of the 61.8 occurs, then what we would look for is the payment of the 161.8 fib expansion. Remember, the 61.8 that we're looking to be breached is a retracement here of the overall 1 hour movement. Once again, that is potentially coming off of the line of supply violation that we have seen. So that's what we have here at Mouteki.com. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you didn't take a look, make sure to look at our pound CAD from yesterday. I updated with a screenshot earlier. So with that said, have a great weekend, folks. Good luck and happy trading.